When you think about romance in the animal world, your mind probably goes to, some really beautiful places.
Oh, absolutely. The classic example.
Right. You think of swans maybe gliding together, mating for life, or the peacock with that incredible, just theatrical display of color.
Even penguins giving each other rocks as gifts. It's a very romantic narrative we have.
It's a lovely narrative. But if that's the picture in your head, I'm going to need you to just set it aside.
Completely.
Because that idyllic image sure as hell does not apply to ducks. Today, we are diving deep into a surprisingly brutal biological conflict that defines them.
Right. What looks like a simple, docile bird is actually at the center of this incredible evolutionary battle. So our mission here is to unpack what scientists call antagonistic coevolution in ducks.
An arms race, basically.
Exactly. We're going to uncover the anatomical weapons and counterdefenses that are hiding just beneath the water surface.
And to really understand this, we have to start with the male. Forget the little rubber ducky in the bath. The reality is something else entirely.
That's the perfect way to frame it. The scale of a male duck's anatomy is, from a scientific standpoint, just a marvel. Relative to body size, their reproductive organs are gargantuan.
Can you give us the most extreme example? Because the numbers I've seen are just hard to wrap your head around.
So let's take the Argentine lake duck. Researchers have recorded this bird having an organ that measures an astonishing 42.5 centimeters long.
Hold on. 42.5 centimeters.
Nearly half a meter.
But the duck itself is only, 40 centimeters long? So the organ is actually longer than its own body.
It is. It's absolutely wild. And while that's the record holder, it tells you something about the evolutionary pressures here.
So even the average is pretty extreme.
Yeah, the average across most duck species is still around 50% of the bird's total body length.
I just want you to pause for a second and imagine the human proportional equivalent of that. It gives you a sense of the sheer biological investment.
It's a huge investment, and it's a temporary one.
Right. This isn't a permanent feature.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It grows to its full, unbelievable potential only during the spring and summer mating season.
And then?
Then it shrinks dramatically. It goes down to maybe 10% of its full size for the rest of the year.
Which suggests a massive amount of energy is being poured into this for a very short, very specific window of time.
Precisely. And then there's the final piece of this male puzzle, the shape.
It's not straight.
Not even close. It's shaped like a corkscrew, a very tightly wound spiral.
And that corkscrew is, I guess, the core of the male's offensive strategy.
It is. And the reason for that specific, highly evolved shape becomes, well, terrifyingly clear when you look at their mating behavior.
This is where that calm pond image just completely shatters.
Yeah.
We have to talk about why the corkscrew exists. It's because the male behavior is incredibly aggressive.
The scientific sources are very clear on this. Male ducks frequently use physical force to mate. They will attempt to mount an unwilling female. This isn't courtship.
It's coercion.
It's about dominance and high-pressure insertion.
And it's not always just one male, is it? I mean, the accounts are pretty alarming.
It's common to see multiple males trying to mount a single unwilling female in very quick succession.
And the sheer hyperdominance, the physical force, can sometimes be fatal for the female.
That's the brutal reality of this system, that male aggression is the key pressure driving this whole story. So the question becomes, how do the females defend themselves against this?
Because if they couldn't, female choice would be totally eliminated from the equation.
Exactly. The species would be dominated entirely by the most aggressive males.
Which brings us to this amazing evolutionary counter-defense. The female duck isn't fighting back with brute strength. She's fighting back with anatomy.
Yes. She has essentially evolved a biological fortress. The female duck's vagina has become a maze of resistance, specifically designed to make that forced copulation almost impossible.
A maze. What does that actually look like?
It's incredibly complex. It's full of sharp turns and pouches that lead to literal dead ends.
Like traps.
You can think of them as anatomical traps, yes. Places where sperm can be deposited but can't actually reach the eggs.
But the truly brilliant part is the geometry, right?
The geometry is the critical defense. If the male corkscrew twists, say, clockwise.
The female's vagina twists counterclockwise.
Precisely. A perfect counter-rotated structure. It's an evolutionary design mismatch.
So during one of these fast coercive encounters, the male's corkscrew just hits a wall, essentially.
It hits immediate resistance. It can't travel far into the canal.
Yeah.
The female is physically jamming the mechanism.
It's like the lock has been designed to actively reject the forced key.
A perfect analogy.
And the data on how successful this is the part that just blows my mind.
It's astounding. The research shows that only about 3% of chicks are actually born from these forced mating events.
3%.
Which means the female's internal defenses are successfully blocking fertilization 97% of the time.
That number, 97%, it's an incredible testament to this anatomical warfare.
It is. The constant back and forth, the male weapon being countered by the female defense generation after generation. That is the textbook definition of antagonistic coevolution.
It's an arms race.
A true evolutionary arms race.
So let's zoom out for a second, because this whole setup, the massive size, the corkscrew, the conflict, it puts the duck in a pretty exclusive club in the bird world.
A very small club. When you look at birds overall, you find something genuinely surprising.
Which is?
A penis is incredibly rare. Only about 3% of all bird species have one.
So just ducks, geese, swans.
Right. Them and a few of the big flightless birds like ostriches and emus, but that's about it.
So if 97% of birds don't have this organ, how are they reproducing?
Most of them use a method called the cloacal kiss.
The cloaca being that all-purpose opening for waste, for laying eggs.
And for dispensing sperm in the male, yes.
Right.
So during mating, the male mounts the female, who is usually willing, and they just briefly touch their cloacas together.
Yeah.
It's a quick transfer.
And that willingness is the key. The whole thing is usually preceded by some kind of courtship ritual.
And that's the fundamental difference in what's driving evolution here. For most birds, it's not conflict, it's sexual selection.
Right, sexual selection, where a trait in one sex, usually the male, gives them an advantage in attracting a mate.
And if that trait works, it gets passed down and often becomes more and more exaggerated over time.
This is why we get such incredible things like the peacock's tail, or birds with these unbelievably melodic songs or elaborate dances.
Exactly. It takes enormous energy for a peacock to grow that tail. It makes him more visible to predators. But the cost is worth it, because the female is choosing that trait.
So most of the bird world is competing in a kind of talent show.
It's an art show, a talent show, yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to outsing and outshine each other to attract a willing partner.
Whereas the duck world...
The duck world is locked in a high-stakes anatomical battle, driven by pure conflict. One system is about attraction, the other is about force and counter-defense.
It's just an incredible journey, realizing that this common bird we see all the time is at the center of one of nature's most sophisticated examples of biological warfare.
It really is. The female is not a passive victim here. She's actively evolving resistance. It's a constant, never-ending cycle of adaptation.
So I guess what this all means is that we have to look beneath the surface. Sometimes the greatest evolutionary marvels are hidden in the most common places.
Absolutely. Which, leads to one last kind of provocative thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
If the female's defenses are so incredibly effective, blocking 97% of forced inseminations, why haven't the males just abandoned this aggressive strategy? What's stopping them from evolving, say, a simple courtship dance instead?
A great question.
And what other subtle defenses, maybe chemical or behavioral, might the female be using that we haven't even discovered yet? That's the deep dive that's still happening right now out on the pond.